welcome back to my Carolina homestead. If you're new, my name is Michelle, and today I'm going to be making some tinctures. A tincture is basically a solution of a medicinal substance that is either in alcohol. You can make a tincture in apple cider vinegar if you choose not to use alcohol. But for the tinctures that I'm making for today, I am using 80 proof vodka. Generally, when we go foraging, we do have specific things in mind that we want to get. But when we find extras, we just bring them all home. I get them washed and lay them out on the dining room table to air dry before I decide what to use them for. So recently we found, this is a narrow leaf plantain that I've used in some salves. I've also made a tincture out of it. This was a gigantic mullein plant that we brought back that I've used for, I've got that processing in a tincture. And then I've got some curly dock root right there that I'm going to use for teas later on. Tinctures are incredibly easy to make. You just need your choice of alcohol or vinegar and time. They take about 6 to 8 weeks to do a full extraction. So when you get your plants or your herbs, whatever it is you're going to use for your extraction in your tincture, you want to bring them home, wash them really well. I soak mine in a water vinegar solution and then rinse them really well and spin them out in a salad spinner. And then I put them in the dehydrator to remove the water. So I'm not dehydrating them, I'm just removing the water. You do want to use fresh herbs for your tinctures. Once your plants or your herbs have been cleaned and are 100% free of water, then you're just going to chop them up really well. We chop them up to expose as much surface area inside the plant, and that's going to help us extract all the medicinal properties from your plants and your herbs. And you can get incredibly scientific with this, with your measurements. I don't. I'm doing it my way. So I will fill this mason jar. This is a quart jar. I'll fill it loosely with the plants and the herbs that I'm going to use for this tincture. This is a purple dead nettle and dandelion tincture that I'm preparing. So I'm going to fill it halfway with my plants, and then I'm going to cover those plants with this vodka. Again, this is a 80 proof vodka. You want to use a mid-shelf type vodka. You don't have to go top shelf or very expensive, but you don't want to go the cheapest route either, because it almost makes taking your medication unbearable. So I'm just going to cover these plants with this vodka, and then I'm going to put the lid on this, and I'll store this in my pantry for 6 to 8 weeks, making sure to shake it every day. This dandelion and purple dead nettle tincture is made for general health. Dandelion is a cleansing herb. It supports healthy liver and kidneys. It's also great for arthritis. The purple dead nettle is an antioxidant. It's anti-inflammatory. It's a source of quercetin, which is great for allergies, and it also eases issues like arthritis. So combining these is a great medicine, and for that you're going to use a half a teaspoon twice a day for general health. And if you're sick, you would take 3 teaspoons daily until you are better. Now this is narrow leaf plantain, and I have this tincture prepared. It is also covered in vodka, and this one is for sore throats, coughs. It boosts your immune system. It's an expectorant, and it's also a lung soother. This one is dead nettle by itself, and this one I'm making just for allergy issues. So again, this is a source of quercetin, so I'm going to use it for allergies and also inflammatory issues like arthritis. So once I have all of my tinctures jarred up, I put the lid on them and write the date that they will be finished, and they are ready to strain. So again, this is the dandelion and purple dead nettle. This one is used for healthy liver and kidneys. It's also used for arthritis relief, and it's also used for seasonal allergies. The next must-have tincture that I'm making is garlic tincture. With this one, this is your antibiotic, and it is good for any type of infection, from sinus infection to stomach flu. With this one, you're just going to chop your garlic up, let it sit out for 15 minutes, and then put it in your jar and cover with your alcohol. This one, you're going to take 1 teaspoon twice a day. And if you're sick, you can take 1 teaspoon 3 times a day. So today is the day where all of my tinctures have finished the extraction process. So I'm 6 to 8 weeks out from what I just showed you in the video. And today's the day that everything's going to get strained and bottled and put away into the medicine cabinet. So when you do make tinctures, your plant material does sort of break down, and it does change the color of the alcohol to a darker brown or darker green color. That's normal. This one is a mullein and narrow leaf plantain tincture. This one still has a ways to go. I have 2 big jars of this. That's not ready to strain today, so I'm going to set those aside. Tinctures made of alcohol have a very long shelf life. Depending on who you ask, they can last anywhere from 5 to 10 years. If you're making a vinegar-based tincture, it's going to last roughly around 2 years, and that would be maximum. To strain the tinctures, I'm just going to use a canning funnel and a mesh strainer, and I'm just going to pour this mixture out into this measuring cup. If your plants have been chopped incredibly small, you may want to add a layer of cheesecloth to your straining process, because you do want to make sure that all plant material has been removed. You don't want any plant material remaining in your tincture. So as you can see here, this looks like the narrow leaf plantain tincture by itself. And this again is the one used for sore throat, coughs. This is an immune booster. It's also an expectorant, and it soothes your lungs. So if you have any upper respiratory issues, you could use this plantain to ease your symptoms. You want to have access to a cool, dark place to store your tinctures. Light and heat will degrade them and make them ineffective. They'll also expire quicker. If you don't have access to a cool, dark place, then you're going to want to store your tinctures in dark jars or amber bottles. I'm putting them in these hot sauce bottles that I bought on Amazon. They usually are the perfect size for one batch of tincture, and I will store these in my pantry. You can use the amber bottles, which I do use the 2-ounce amber bottles for dispensing the medication, but for storage, I'll either store them in jars or these hot sauce bottles. Once the tinctures have been strained and bottled, I will just put a label on them and mark them with the date that they are strained, just so I have an idea of how old they are. I'm just going to continue this process until all of my tinctures have been strained, bottled, and labeled. My tinctures have all been strained, bottled, labeled, and dated, and are ready to go into the medicine cabinet. This is a very easy way to make medication for yourself and your family. It's all natural, and it's incredibly effective. If you have children, you're going to want to do your own research on dosage with tinctures for children. I would also recommend making your tinctures with the vinegar base instead of the alcohol base for children. We are an all-adult only home, so we do use the vodka just so that it has a longer shelf life. So to review, in this video we have a purple dead nettle tincture. This one is an antioxidant, it's anti-inflammatory, it's a source of quercetin, so this can be used to ease your allergies, and it's also great for inflammatory issues like rheumatism and arthritis. And for this one, you can take this up to 3 times a day, 1 teaspoon each dose. Next we have plantain. Plantain is used for sore throat, coughs, an immune booster, And it's also an expectorant. So if you have any congestion in your lungs, that will help get that out of there. It's also a lung soother. Next, we have garlic. This is a must-have in your arsenal. Garlic is a very potent antibiotic. It's good to treat infections. It works for sinus infections, colds, flu, bronchitis, and of course, stomach flu. Garlic tincture is also a strong decongestant and expectorant. I use the garlic tincture for my husband. He had a severe sinus infection, and I gave him 1 teaspoon 3 times a day, along with a purple dead nettle and dandelion tincture. And that I also gave him 3 times a day for 3 days, and it just knocked it right out. So these tinctures do work. So if you have the ability to go out and forage, make sure you do your research and you know what you're foraging for. Get yourself a bottle of 80 proof alcohol and make yourself some medicine. If you have any questions about any of these tinctures or just questions in general, please leave them down in the comment section below, and I will certainly do my best to answer them for you. I want to thank you for stopping by my Carolina homestead today. If you enjoyed this video or content like this, please give us a thumbs up, subscribe to our channel, and click that notification bell for videos coming soon. See you next time, and take care.